Okay, cool. Yeah. So, SONiC actually, before we really start SONiC project, we actually in Microsoft Azure, we had an internal project called Azure Cloud Switch, and you'll be surprised that we actually built a network operating system on Windows, right, with many of the similar design characteristics. But then, around 2015, we decided that hey, it's better actually to build an ecosystem together, leverage Linux, right, and as an open source project together with the community. That's where we started the SI at OCP in 2015, and then in 2016 we formally kicked off SONiC as a project, open source project. Yeah. Very cool. So I think I would think of this as a two different angle, right? One angle is actually from a community angle. I think SONiC really had a very vibrant community, and which is I would say that is probably the most vibrant community in the network operating system, and so that's really the community working together on designing the features and ensuring the quality, thinking of the deployment problem for all those kind of things. We work really as one team, right? Really cross company boundaries, across different roles, and the people kind of contributing to that. I think that's really the thing that the community sets apart. And purely from technical perspective of SONiC, I would see that SONiC is very clear on its abstraction in a switch abstraction interface that allowed everybody to onboard hardware very quickly. So that's a very distinctive hardware design point. And then there's a switch state service layer that kind of decouple all the software components, right? So that allows you to use a different software components and put it together and swapping the stuff that you might need, or you take away the stuff you do not need. We make things very composable and disaggregated operating system. Yeah, like I said, we did our own effort of building NOS, so we kind of go through that, good or bad. And I think that working with the community, right, and we are already working with a lot of people in the community in our capacity at Microsoft. And when we talk to people together, we feel like, hey, let's open it up and work with more people, and that will just help everything to grow a lot stronger. Right? And with basically more people contributing to it, more adoption, so that it can drive the quality, right? And yeah, so that's what it really kind of got us into this, right? And certainly that I think as we make SONiC bigger and bigger, I think Linux Foundation become a very attractive place because of its a very rich ecosystem, right? Beyond the hardware industry. So I think that's really got us kind of want to work with Linux Foundation as well. Okay, so SONiC actually release every 6 months, right? The current one is 2022-11, and the upcoming one is 2023-05, right? There's quite a long list of features, so I might not be able to recall through that, right? I think the feature lists are really always tracked online. That there's a release map, right, on the new website. So actually, I do encourage everybody to take a look at that. And this feature that sometimes that we people squeeze in the last minute, or people kind of decide to it's better off to put a little bit later, right? So I think that's probably a much better place for people to catch up on. Okay, so I think the as SONiC has a network operating system, right? So it's probably the most critical part of the IT infrastructure, right? So once your network is down, you basically lose everything. And then normally for troubleshooting, you need network access, right? So really that's a place that I think people, everybody does IT that emphasize a lot more on quality than anything else, right? So network operating system is where this quality is super important. So when we decide to go down the SONiC route to run operating system ourselves, we always are being very conscious on quality is the thing that is going to make or break it, right? And so I think the effort of SONiC community and the Microsoft or other companies, they're putting into basically testing it, improve the quality, it's just humongous, right? And that is the number one thing that I think is going to change or decide how successful SONiC will be, right? Certainly that's the thing that in Microsoft as well, that we see this is an open source, right? So a lot of people are contributing to that. And so in the way that people are doing different software development process on the different environment with different background and think of a little bit differently on quality as well. So and how do we get to that coherent level of quality that we feel comfortable that to put into our infrastructure where our mandate is to build the world's most reliable network, right? So that is the one thing that I would say that kind of make us success, but also keep us very nervous every day, right? So, yeah. Okay, so that's a fun question. So, I I would say that there's a lot of like I'm thinking of the superhero movies, the Marvel movies, to be honest, and I think there's a lot of people with very strong power, but I think the unique power in Captain America is actually his capability of uniting different people with different strengths together, right? And then putting up as a kind of working together with a unified kind of vision, right? Maybe people with different view, different kind of capability, but then his unique strength is to get people to work together, and that's how I think that a Linux Foundation-led open source project that what we're gearing towards as well, right? Everybody have different strengths, and we work together as one team, right, and achieve a single mission together, right? So I think that's a superpower that I would say.